Howdy, and welcome to Broken Tool Garage. This video is going to go over getting rid of the rust and repairing rust and preventing rust and sealing rust and all that stuff on this old cab on this 1970 Dodge truck right here, right? So I'm going to go through and show you those techniques right now. Okay, I'm starting the cleaning process here, and first off, the goal isn't to remove all the rust and get it down to shiny metal, because any kind of rust converter, rust encapsulator, it needs the rust to work right. So one of the tools I'm using right here is just a cable wheel, and that's giving us our finish that we see in here, just to kind of get all the loose stuff off, right? And it'll help get some of this paint off and everything. Like, we do want to get the paint off to get to metal, but all this is going to get rust encapsulated in here, right? Now I'm using a different tool, just a thinner wire wheel, to get down in here. And as we can see, we got issues, right, all in this area. And this is our cab mount. So this bolt's going to have to come out so I can repair this right here. So that means I'll probably need to get up underneath the cab with a bottle jack and kind of give a little support and try to get this bolt out, and then I can get to this socket in here. And what happens, people get in the truck, you know, and either you have carpet or don't have carpet, you get water draining down in here, it sits down in this area and it rots it out. And that's what happens with this. So we're going to get this repaired right in there, because that's a big structural spot for that, and it's just going to keep causing problems. We can see, I don't know if that's a double layer of the cab or what it is, but we're going to have to get this, start getting this cut out to get down in there to get that fixed. So this is the process we're going to use, and just use that wire wheel, cable wheel, and get all this loose gunk and all this stuff like this off, so that we can get to the rust encapsulator. We want to get that on first, then what seals that up, and then the rest of it, where we got good paint and everything, we can just scuff that, shoot that with primer, and then go in and just shoot that with whatever paint we're going to use, right? Of course, you still need to get all the dirt dauber stuff all hidden up in there and all that stuff. But that's later on. I may need to pull this off so I can get back in there a little better. And that might be a little tricky to get to in there, the way they have this mounted in there. But anyways, that's what we're going to do. We're going to look for all the little hidden spots, like up in here, that we need to put something on. I probably won't do a rusting, like the Eastwood rust encapsulator there. I'll probably just take my Rust-Oleum rust reformer and just hit it with a rust reformer, all in those light, very light surface area things. It's really not getting a lot of moisture on it, but definitely the floor is going to be a heavier use area. So I want to do that, and I'll probably come in and use like a lizard skin sound deadener, because it's a very good tough stuff to put on there. Or I might just go ahead and do a truck bed liner over the top of it once it's rust encapsulated. When we get the coatings, we'll go over that spot. But right now we're just doing the prep and repairing our rusty areas, which that's the worst spot about the whole truck right there. The rest of it's not a big deal, so we'll just dive into that. Okay, I got it out. It did not want to come out. It's like it's been in there for 50-something years. So you see, this is actually part of the metal of the floor pan. So it's all thin and rotted out. That was a little reinforcement piece that goes on here. So all this is going to have to be reinforced and cleaned and all that stuff, right? So here's like a little washer I have to replace. I tried being nice with that thing, and it just wasn't coming out. So you need to prepare yourselves when you're working on old stuff like this. You're going to run into bolts like that, especially old trucks like this, 50 years old and all that are just so rotted and rusted. And you could spend your whole allotted time for like your afternoon or whatever just getting one bolt out. So just prepare yourself for that. That's going to happen. You're going to have to cut it out and all that with rod stuff. So anyways, the mess I've made underneath there, here's our bolt that was just completely rotted, rusted. You see, I tried kind of cutting some notches in there and being nice, and it wasn't coming out. I mean, it just straight was not coming out. Had to end up grinding and drilling the head, and then taking a punch and just beating the thing out. That's what we had to do. But we got that out, now we can fix the rot. Okay, Just going to show a little bit of technique here. So the underneath here is the structure. It's thicker metal. It does have some rust in it and a little bit of rot holes, but it's pretty good. This other stuff right here is just the skin on the top of it. I'm peeling that up because in between these two layers, that's what all this rust is in here. So I'm trying to get it peeled back like how I went to there. That's the end of that support. And I'm peeling it back a little bit, and what we can do, we can spray our rust reformer up in there, try to get it hosed up in there real good once we get all this rot out, and that'll preserve that. Then we can come in here and weld our support washers and all that stuff in here, like those big fender washers, and we can get this beef back up and then get all that welded back up in there, right? So that's what we're going to do, and I'm just in the process of peeling this. You know, to really do a really good job, the cab would have to be off. That way you can get to both sides and you can actually go in there and just replace that, you know, refabricate and replace that whole piece. Just come out and just cut the whole thing out and put it in. That would be a really great way of doing it, but I ain't pulling the cab off. I just got the engine started. Fenders are bolted on. Front clips bolted on. We ain't pulling no cab. If I was pulling a cab, we'd be doing a frame swap, right? Okay, there we are. We got good bright light on it now. So a couple patch pedals in there. It's cut out as good as I'm going to do it, because honestly this whole area, take the cab off and just do a big old patch panel over that whole area, then get to the structure, and we're not going there. So what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to wipe this down real good. I'm going to take the Eastwood Rust Encapsulator Plus, and we're going to brush that all the way around real good, try to get it up in these seams. I'll seal all that up, and then once that cures up, I'm going to sand that down. I'll come over with some kitty hair, fiber fill, or whatever. That's different than Bondo. That stuff actually seals, and it'll seal out the water and everything. Bondo stays porous, so you don't want to use Bondo for that. But the fiber reinforced stuff is okay to do that with right there. Then we can go through and do, probably just do a lizard skin on it. But I need to get all of this out of the way and then go ahead and finish prepping this whole floorboard, because I want to go in and brush that rust encapsulator over the whole floorboard when I do it, right? Or at least right up in that area, because that's the area where the feet go and all that stuff, right? Okay, there we are. It's drying. We're just going to have to let it do its thing, and that's done. We are rust controlled for this. We are patch paneled. Now we do have some stuff to come in and finish up in there, but that's going to be our fiberglass. I'll do like these holes for whatever reason. I'll come in and do all those, but that's just doing fiberglass, not fiberglass, but the fiber fill kitty hair stuff on top of that when we finish this. So if you kind of get this concept right here, then you pretty much get the rest of the concept that I'm going to be doing through the rest of the cab right here, right?